How would you describe what you do for a living?
I mean, besides awesome, I just
Yes, yes.
I I think this is something because I've worked as a therapist, I've done multiple different things. So after I got my master's, I had Kaylin immediately.
No
Like
kidding.
I graduated in August. I took my national exam 8 months pregnant. To the point, I think I shared this story too. Like I was looking at the Depends just to see if I could find a single one to take this test because it was 4 hours long.
No.
And I remember looking at her and praying to my belly, "Kaylin, please don't
Please do.
push on my bladder. I've got to pass this test. Like this is our future."
Unbelievable.
And at that point, we didn't get our passing scores right away. We had to wait for the mail. So I had to turn this in. I'm like, "Okay, God, I'm done. Like I have taken this test and it's all on you now. I'm now going to focus on this child." And
Unbelievable.
so I worked actually up to the day my water broke. I had an appointment that ended at 5:30, and this was still at, early head start at this point. My water broke at 11:30, and I kicked out of bed. He likes to tell this, I threw him out of the bed.
I
I did
love the
not.
versions, like
Yeah.
there's the truth. What do they say? The truth and
Yours,
there's some
mine, and the truth. Yeah.
right, 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 right. That's so
S
good.
so I kick him out. I call my mother, "Mom, my water broke." And
Yes.
she's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Well, I didn't pee the bed, so I'm pretty sure." I called the doctor.
Right.
They're like, "Well, we'll check it, but you still have a couple weeks left." Hmm. So
Hmm.
I get in. "Oh, yeah, your water broke." "Okay, thanks." She was out within 5 hours. Like, she
5 hours.
came fast. And,
Wow.
it was funny because again, like, I worked, had her, that's the start of my maternity leave,
Yeah.
and so I had 13 weeks off, but, um, as soon as I got back from the doctors, when I was headed to the newborn checkup,
Mm.
I get this yellow envelope in the mail. I'm like,
Oh, the yellow.
"Mom, please open this.
Oh
I
my
don't think I can handle
goodness.
this right
Oh,
now."
no.
So I give it to her. She opens it. She looks at me, and we both start crying because I passed the clinical level, which means I never have to take that test again,
Oh
as
my
long as I don't lose
goodness.
my license and
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So I found that out with newborn hormones. I'm bawling and crying, and I'm like, "My goodness, I passed."
Did it. Yes.
So I started, like, I got my license and I started sending resumes out, and immediately got a job in home case manager and therapist.
No kidding.
And honestly, I have to say, as much as was hard, and that was 7 years of my existence, like working in that level of poverty, this was worse than Child Start. Like I would go in homes, and when you see hoarders like the show, that's what I worked in. I mean, I worked in with poop and pee and bugs falling off the ceilings, trying to maintain. So I was in the family preservation department, and
Mm.
so we were trying to keep the family together without the kids being removed. But if they didn't get stuff in order, they were gonna be removed. And so I was going into the homes of these people that didn't want me there, and I got threatened with a gun once. Like, it I've had some very interesting. I had a baby die on my caseload within a
No.
couple of days of me working there. I was in 2 car accidents while I was there, one was pretty major, and so the secondary trauma that came from that was really intense. Like, I
Intense.
was so burnt out, and I think that was a pivotal moment because 7 years, and it got to the point, Adam's like, "You gotta do something different. Like, this is not just harming you, it's harming the kids, it's
Yeah.
harming us as a couple." And so I was like, "I'm scared. I don't know what to do. This is a consistent paycheck."
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Well, start looking around." And so, I actually joined a group practice in 2017 while I was also working at St. Francis. So I was doing that and then also seeing private, like, group. And that allowed me to transition into, the group full time.
I
So
see.
it was kind of private practice, but I was in that, and while I was there, I actually got trained in EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization reprocessing.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I actually experienced this in college with my therapist there, which was the life-changing event of, I need to do this for others. I need to be able to provide this for others. I couldn't do that at St. Francis because it was more case management.
I
We were
see.
trying to keep the lights on, we were trying to keep the kids in the home, so I really couldn't get into the mental health piece. I
Mhm.
couldn't actually start changing that because their basic needs of Maslow's hierarchy weren't even getting met. They
Mhm.
weren't
Oh,
having
the
sleep, they
basic.
weren't having that. I mean, they couldn't move up to the actual mental health and emotional well-being because they didn't have lights on half the time or food.
Oh, this speaks very loudly to me, what you just said, because I think of any of us, like when you're living in survival, I think about the gospel and I think about when you're living in like scarcity of fear and worry and doubt and then when you get to that place where now you're living in abundance, even though your situation may not always change, but to move from that mindset of scarcity to abundance.
Your
to
nervous system doesn't forget.